Well, good morning. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. Last Sunday in February. Here we are. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to those of you who have showed up today. Thanks to all the volunteers for making that a safe experience. We have a great service for you today. Great music too. We're going to start off with our opening song. A great Daniel Namewad song called My Soul is Welcome Here. Sing with us. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For those of you who joined us in person at the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living, and we're welcoming up to 30 of you, and there aren't nearly 30 of you here, so we're taking lots of precautions, so I hope you'll come and join us soon, and all of you are welcome to join us in our love streaming. Our practitioner holding high watch from home this morning is Katie Hernandez. Throughout the service, she will be in prayer as she knows that wonderful things are unfolding right here at our center. Our prayer practitioner this morning is Farrell Zeman. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. From wherever you are, I invite you to recommit yourself to our center's purpose by speaking our purpose statement out loud. We are an open, welcoming community, celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. Thank you. For all the latest news, or to learn more about us, or submit a prayer request, or reach out to us for any reason, or just to spend time when you don't have anything else to do, I invite y'all to please visit our website at www.spirituallyfree.org. And if you're on the site, if you're on site, not on the website, if you're here with us, please know how happy we are to have you back. And please remember to wear your mask the whole time you're in the building to help keep everybody safe. And for everyone who's hearing my words anywhere out there, please, when it's your turn, get your vaccinations so that we can all get back together safely as soon as possible. So numbers are going down with vaccinations going up, so it's working. And as someone who's had COVID and had the vaccination, I promise you COVID is worse. So get your vaccination. Our theme for February is One Journey, Many Paths. And joining us virtually this morning is a speaker new to our center, Reverend Dr. Lehman Steen. There will be no Zoom chat after the service today because we have a ministry council meeting, but that will be back next week. I don't know how many of you know the history, but the Salt Lake Interfaith Roundtable was founded during the 2002 Olympics here in Salt Lake City, and it continues to be a strong organization made up of leaders of all kinds of faith organizations in our area. Every year, the Roundtable celebrates Interfaith Month, and our center is offering a virtual Taizé service as our contribution. We hope you will join our live stream from home next Sunday, March 7th at 6 p.m., just like you do on Sunday morning on our Facebook page, or you can click the link on the website and it will take you right to the Facebook page. I am guessing a good number of you out there remember our wonderful 40th anniversary celebration 10 years ago. Y'all remember? It was great fun. Well, on March 8th, our center will be 50 years old. How cool is that? We survived this year. While we wish we could have another big celebration next weekend to celebrate that, our current situation doesn't lend us to doing that. But if we all do our part and keep wearing our masks and social distancing and getting our shots when it's our turn, we'll be able to celebrate a few months down the road. So we're planning to have an in-person celebration this summer. Rob Ekman has agreed to head up that committee to plan the event. And if you would like to be part of that, I hope you will send an email to the office and let us know, and we'll make sure Rob gets your name and contact information. In the meantime, to honor the occasion next Sunday, one of our multi-time and longtime ministers, Reverend Donald Grave, will return to us virtually to deliver our Sunday message. We are hoping that he and Jan will be able to join us here in Salt Lake when we have the actual celebration, but we thought he was the perfect person to speak in honor of our anniversary. So I'm excited about that, and I hope you are too. As I do whenever I'm up here, I like to remind you that our center was founded on and is grounded in prayer, and that our professional prayer practitioners are here to support you in knowing the best and highest for your life. Anytime there are any circumstances that are creating challenges for you, that you need some support, it's hard for all of us sometimes to see and remember the truth when we're kind of in the midst of the mud, and that's what our practitioners are here for. So if you go to the website, you can submit a prayer request, and if you do that, it goes out to all the practitioners, and we pray for you all week. And if you'd like somebody to call you and pray with you on the phone and have a real-time prayer, let us know that too, and somebody will give you a call. So right now, I invite you to settle in, to allow Farrell's reading and the centering music to take you to that sacred space within, and then Farrell will lead us in prayer.
My reading today is titled Journey into Freedom by Ernest Holmes. Real freedom means that man is created in the image of perfection and let alone and allowed to make the discovery for himself. Freedom of will means the ability to do, say, and think as one wishes, to express life as one personally desires. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, Jesus taught. The understanding of truth, infinite principle, is the emancipator. We are bound by our very freedom. Our free will binds us. The universe, being deductive only, cannot refuse us anything. The very force that makes us sick can heal us. As man realizes the oneness with creative mind, he is released from the bondage of false thinking. He sees too that freedom means liberty, but not license.
Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace. For there in the silence is peace, is joy, is vast, immense, immeasurable love. Immeasurable love. I call to my silent friend, my Lord, myself, my all. I call to that place within wherein lies the key to freedom. Blissful stillness, come to me. Blissful stillness, come. Hold me in your sweet silent embrace.
And in this stillness, I find the connection to that divine intelligence that is always present, always waiting our attention, always there to guide and direct us. And so I breathe deeply, and I welcome this presence within to guide and direct me. I know that we are infinitely blessed by that one divine intelligence, and it is always, always with us. And so I give thanks for this as we rest and listen to the promptings and the inspiration that comes in this meeting today. And so in this oneness, in this awareness, I give thanks to that divine intelligence as I release these words into the law and declare it to be, and so it is.
Thank you, Farrell. I invite you to sing with us again. This is one of my favorite songs. It's about being attuned with nature, with our nature, with the nature of the universe. It's called Dance. Dance to the rhythm of the universe. Sing along. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna go with the moment. I'm gonna feel so free. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny. I'm gonna dance to the rhythm of the universe. Gonna lead my destiny.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce our special music today. Mary Danzig is such a dear friend of the center. She's an extraordinary musician and an even more extraordinary person. She's a great teacher too, and she has room in her schedule for more students. She's just a wonderful violinist and just musician all around. Let's welcome Mary Danzig.
Thank you. It is always such a privilege to be here and to play with this amazing band. You are so lucky to hear these fine musicians every Sunday, and not only to hear their beautiful playing, but just to be with such wonderful, remarkable people. I'm going to play a song. This is Neil Gow's Lament, and this is a song that comes from Cape Breton in Canada.
Oh, wow. I just love when you play, Mary. And I love you. I am so excited to tell you about our speaker this morning. Reverend Dr. Sidney Lehman Steen is an ordained religious science as well as interfaith minister. She was associate minister at Unity of Portland from 2016 until mid-2020, and she was the music director there for more than 12 years. I've had the privilege of having several conversations with her as we worked on scheduling her talk, and with her and Raj working out the kinks for how to do this virtually. And I can tell you that she is loving, enthusiastic, joyful, and so full of life and vitality. It's just contagious. I fell in love with her on the phone. Her commitment to spirit and to cultivating the unfoldment of the divine within all people is dynamic, and it's passionate, and it's the reason that she decided to become a minister after growing up in New Thought from a very early age. Her faith runs deep. She is also an accomplished jazz pianist, keyboardist, composer, and conductor. Be sure to check out her bio on the website to see all the amazing places and people with whom she has played her wonderful music. Lots of Broadway stuff and famous people you will recognize. I am so incredibly happy that technology is allowing us to welcome Reverend Sidney.
Good morning, CSL Salt Lake City. I am Reverend Dr. Sidney Steen, and I live in Oregon. I am just southwest of Portland in a little town called Newburgh, and I'm very excited to be speaking with you today. I'm so glad you invited me to join your community for this morning's services, for this discussion, because I think that as we talk more and more about the oneness in this universe and what we believe, it's great to be able to actually outpicture what we know, which is that we are all joined. We are all connected, both on the seen and the unseen side of life. So I'm thrilled to be here. This month, the Centers for Spiritual Living, with whom you are all affiliated, is honoring the spiritual path as it relates to and is seen through the lens of Black History Month. You know, the overarching theme for CSL for 21 is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. Timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And of course, what this means is that we look at those faith traditions that are solid, that are loving, that are powerful, that have endured the test of time. And how can they inform how we go forward, how we can vision our future, our lives? How can we interpret and love and orient ourselves towards a greater expression of humanity, of joy, of great, big, juicy living? So this month's theme is One Journey, Many Paths, and the talk for this week is Journey to Freedom. Journey to freedom. So I get that there's a risk of cultural appropriation as a white person talking about a Black experience, and that is not my intention. And especially when you're a white person like me, I'm a white girl from Newport Beach. I own that. But what I know is that the experience I have had as someone who can walk into any grocery store or drugstore and not be followed because of the color of my skin, and I can choose to wear a hoodie or not, and no one will think that I'm a suspicious person. What I choose to know is that that is not everybody's shared experience. And what we desire to do is to cultivate a greater sense of compassion, alliance, understanding, collaboration, because we need to heal that and rise up together. We want to rise up together. That is the intention. So my exploration here is one of respect. It's one of deep empathy, and it's definitely of humility. So as I was getting ready for this talk, I examined some of the materials that have been sent out, and I'm honored that I got to be part of the global team, the global theme team for this year. And I'm also working on it for next year. And we did lots of prayer, lots of visioning, and lots of co-creation. And so this is an exciting topic for me. The affirmation that was given for this particular Sunday is this: love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. Say that with me. Love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. So Ernest Holmes, our founder, wrote this: the inherent nature of man or woman is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. Forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. Your inherent nature is freedom. My inherent nature is freedom. The inherent nature of all life is freedom. It is about moving beyond the boundaries, moving beyond the limitations, moving beyond somebody else's judgment or restrictions to live free, creatively free, relationally free, physically free. All of those aspects are what we honor and we celebrate. So what's the problem? It hasn't really worked out that way, has it? It hasn't necessarily. And in America, we've seen, and there has been a rising up, an awakening that we are knowing that it has not been like that for everybody. You know, there's a sentence, and you can be cynical with this: some are more equal than others. And that's kind of what we've seen. Some are more free than others. That's what we've seen. But if we really, really want to live by this theme, our overarching, our mission, our vision of creating a world that works for everyone, we have to expand the way we approach our lives. So freedom has deep roots. The idea of freedom has deep roots in the collective psyche. And the idea of limiting freedom also has deep roots in the collective psyche. We call it the race mind. We call it the race mind, the collective consciousness. And it has both all of the positive life-affirming thoughts we've had over the years, over the history, the thousands of years of humanity on this planet. And it also has the non-life-affirming ones. And we all participate in it. And we try to be conscious in the way we participate in it. You know, the limitation idea comes from one root cause, one root belief, and that's that we are separate from God. And when we are separate from God, there is not enough. When we think we're separate, when we have a dual existence on the planet, when we're separate from God, perception, there isn't enough. How can there be? If God is over here and we're over here, how does it get to us, right? So we are moving, all of us globally, into a greater idea of what God is, what this presence is. Now, we've known this for a long time in New Thought. And the way that we approach this is by knowing that we are one of, one with, and one as the presence and the power that is God. Ernest Holmes wrote that the true prayer is the correction of a belief in separation. True prayer is the correction of a belief in separation. And so when we think we don't have enough, when we think we're separate, that idea, its unworthiness fundamentally, is going to show up in many different areas. It might show up in health, it might show up in prosperity or lack thereof, it might show up in your relationships, it might be showing up right now in myriad ways, because we are in such a strange, chaotic, confusing time. Truly we are, let's own that you may be very tempted to spend time thinking, why isn't God fixing this? And that's a sign that you have shifted to duality thinking, as opposed to God in me knows what to do and how to fix and how to soothe and how to love and how to expand into greater knowinghood. Okay, so we call this the race mind, okay? Now, as if it wasn't bad enough that we have this idea that we're separate from God and we're separate from other people, that very pernicious thought partners up really, really strongly with the thought that someone might take away what I have. Someone might get what I'm going for. Someone else might get there first. It's this thing about competition. And we call it othering. It's the other. So we criminalize the other, whether they are criminals or not, because they don't look like us, maybe they don't sound like us, or just because they might appear to be in opposition or competition. So it's a very pernicious limiting thought, and yet we have it so much. And it is in this collective race mind that we participate in. Now, to the degree that we are conscious of how these ideas can influence our thinking, then we can certainly shift and we can be independent of that herd thinking, independent of that overall idea. So if you're willing to move beyond othering, willing to move beyond victim thinking and blaming thinking, we can rise above into our Godhead, our Godness, our God abilities. Now, since all of us are part of this collective humanity that goes back thousands and thousands of years, I want you to know that we all, yes, do take part in this race mind, in this collective mind. So let me just validate you a little bit. You are heir to lots of thinking, and it's sourced in antiquity. Congratulations. You're neurotic. Congratulations. You think there's another. But we have choices, okay? We have choices. We have choices about how we are going to handle the thinking of the realm around us. So I'm going to make you uncomfortable now because that's my job. You know, you might have heard the phrase that the role of a minister, the job of a minister, is to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. Let's get started. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote this: "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." And he also wrote this, and you may have heard it: "True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice." It is the presence of justice, which is a quality of God. So our spiritual community, of which you are, New Thought, we anchor in a larger spiritual, mental, and philosophical collective, which is the greater realm of New Thought. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We endeavor to volitionally and intentionally think a new thought. And we think about who we are. It's a new thought about who we are, what we are, our divinity, our connection. This idea of new thought is that we step out of those old paradigms, those old, very well-traveled, familiar neural pathways, and step into a realm of big, huge, hairy, divine possibility. Because that's what you and I are. We are big, huge, hairy, divine possibilities. Makes a good affirmation, doesn't it? Let's say that. I am a big, huge, hairy, divine possibility. Say it again. I am a big, huge, hairy, divine possibility. Feel that. Feel that in your gut. Just grok that and take that in. So we believe and we teach that we come from a perfect spiritual pattern. You might call it a spiritual blueprint, and that everything necessary for our divine expression is already within that pattern. And that means that we are perfect, we are whole, we are complete, we are divine, we are abundant, we are fully sourced, we are fully supplied, and by the way, fully enough. We have enough, we are enough. I know, and what we teach is that we each participate and are part of God. And therefore, what is true of God, this presence which surrounds and fills us, which saturates us, which divines us and defines us, what is true about God is true about you and is true about me. So that means we are all of what I just said. We are perfect. We are whole. We are complete. We are divine. We are abundant. We are fully sourced. We are fully supplied. And yes, we are fully enough. And we have enough because we come from infinite, abundant God. We don't come from selfish, little, clingy, moody, angry, I've fallen off my anger meds, dysfunctional God. We come from abundant God. We come from big, hairy, juicy, full-hearted God, because that's what we are. Our purpose is to consciously live from this blueprint, to know that's who and what we are, and to let it orient us, to guide us, to become that true north for our GPS, our God positioning system. So our divine assignment on this planet is to know ourselves as this power and presence, and to know that we are an expression of God. So we know ourselves as this power and presence called God. And guess what? We are to know ourselves as God knows us. We are to identify ourselves as God identifies us. We are that one. I am that. I am that I am. So I got to tell you, this new thought stuff will rock the boat. You may annoy people. You may make them uncomfortable, and they may choose to cycle out. You may choose to cycle out of their experience and their vibration, but that's okay. That's okay. Some bless us by coming. Some bless us by going. We have to move into that true direction of knowing ourselves as absolutely infinite beings. You know, I went to your Salt Lake City CSL Facebook page because this is what I do. I lurk. Whenever I know I'm going to speak for a center, I want to see what the vibe is like. And there was this great post, and somebody had written, "Once you wake up, it's hard to go back to sheep." Once you wake up, it's hard to go back to sheep. So it's not just about counting those sheep when you're in the middle, it's 3 a.m. and you can't get to sleep. It's not that. It's when we wake up spiritually, we cannot go back to traveling with the herd. We cannot. We're not sheep. We are individualized expressions of the divine. Don't go back to sheep. Don't go back to sleep. Move into freedom. Bring yourself up to this consciousness. Choose to know this. So what I love about our teaching is that we approach it with a sense of applied spirituality. We don't just talk about it and enjoy that process. I mean, we could all do that and it feels good, but if we're not using it, if we don't have tools to use it, then it's time well spent, hopefully. So one of the things that happens, and I will give us some tools here, but what I've seen happens that when we choose to not really use the tools, we don't want to work that hard. I've seen people do this. Many of us do this. It's called spiritual bypass. It's so easy to go straight to the affirmations and the feel-good stuff, to bypass the pain that somebody else might be experiencing, to bypass your own pain, and to not spend time there interrogating it or asking that, where did it come from? How did I participate in an idea of limitation here? How can I unparticipate? How can I create a new thought? How can I invoke and live from a new thought? So spiritual bypass happens when we ignore what's going on because it makes us squidgy and uncomfortable. And we do go into that feel-good place, which I call the pink fairy dust and unicorn stage. Now, that might work for you, but I don't do unicorns and I don't do pink fairy dust. I can't do it. But we do like to justify bypass. We like to justify it with our friends, with our family. We like to gather teammates in our bypass. Part of the thing I see in not acknowledging the pain and suffering that is real for people in the world is we've maybe grown up with the idea that if we hold a negative thought, we're going to somehow immediately manifest that in our lives. So Ernest Holmes taught us that disciplined thought has far much more power than undisciplined thought. The random, this is not going to create your life. But guess what will? The unexplored, deeply buried belief that you may not be aware that you have taken in and embraced. That's what is going to influence your GPS, your spiritual GPS, your God positioning system, because you will be seen through a lens of some limitation, of some pain that has not been acknowledged. You know, we reveal to heal. We don't reveal so that we can bury it again. And so if we are to get caught up in this idea that negative thinking is dangerous, or looking at something is negative and therefore we shouldn't do it, then we are absolutely doing metaphysical malpractice. Please don't do that. Trust yourself to look at what's there, to acknowledge it, and to ask Spirit, what is mine to know about this? What is mine to know? What is mine to do? What is the possibility here? Let's not go into superstitious magical thinking. I think most of us have had enough of that. So we want to be mature adults, mature spiritual adults, to come into this teaching, into this life with responsibility, with accountability, and to not fall into a thing of, oh, I was thinking wrong. Oh my God, I was thinking wrong. Oh, stop thinking. Please don't do that. You can be trusted. You can be trusted to examine your thinking. We really, really can. When we live our lives as victims, when we think there's someone else or someone out there to blame, when we do all of that, it's not fun. It's not productive. Well, it'll produce, more of the same crap, but it's not the way towards a juicy, abundant, hairy, awesome, abundant, powerful life, right? And by the way, don't you love hanging out with people who have that victim mindset? Life just wants to ruin me. Life just wants to step on me. I'm being sabotaged all the time. Yeah, good times. So we get to look at that. We get to examine that and say, wow, have I been doing that? Or is there something that I can be responsible and accountable for in my own choice about how I want to perceive who I am? Who I am. We go to source. Who am I? I am God. I am the divine. Today I'm the divine in a velvet jacket and a purple shirt. Some of you might be the divine. You might be God in an orange dress. You might be God in a red shirt. You might be God in your pajamas, sitting at home watching a Zoom broadcast. But you are God. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. I grew up being taught to take responsibility and clean up my mess. And what I love about this teaching is that only goes so much way farther. We take responsibility, not guilt, not shame, not blame, not regret, but honest, mature responsibility for our thinking, for our choices, for our behaviors, for the way we want to be, for what we want to perceive and understand. So then there's a cleanup on aisle 7 in our thinking, which happens when we declare and know and practice a new thought about any area of our life in terms of that divine aspect, our divine nature. So I want to bring some stuff together. If you've been napping, please wake up. Wake up. Don't go back to sheep. When we reveal and heal our beliefs of not enough and our unworthiness, we no longer have to practice discrimination or limitation of any kind for ourselves or anybody else. When we reveal those beliefs, we don't bury them. When we reveal them and question them and take them apart, or just say, no, you don't serve me, get thee behind me. That's not in reference to a little red man with a pitchfork and horns. Get thee behind me is that old thinking. That's the metaphysical about that. Get thee behind me, Satan. We don't believe in Satan, but what we do believe in is the power of wrong thinking to influence and to create how we react, how we respond, and how we begin to go forward and create in our lives. So we want to take those beliefs of not enough and walk away from them. And don't look back. Don't look back. Once you've identified that and you see what the spiritual principle is behind that you actually want, don't look back. Excuse me. We don't want to become that pillar of salt. We don't want to do that. So when we believe and live from truth that there is enough and that we're all worthy, our othering is absolutely no longer needed. Now, we talked earlier about a God that maybe isn't serving you. Maybe a God that's grouchy, that's mean, that's capricious, that's moody, and that is selective in who and what he approves of. If that's your God, I wanted to suggest that you consider firing that God and getting a new one. Excuse me. This is the beauty of a live recording, right? Okay. You can get a new God. Don't make God in your image. That's not the idea. We are made and created in God's image, and that means limitless. God as that limitless presence, that infinite loving presence, that is who and what we are. We're not just God adjacent. We're not God light. We're not God similar. We are God. We are not all that God is, but all we are is God. And it is in that recognition that we free ourselves from any sort of need to limit our experience or anyone else's. Spiritual law supersedes man-made law. Spiritual law supersedes man-made law. And since our divine nature, our innate nature is freedom, everything in this universe is moving in that direction to harmonize, to balance the scales, and to bring us into a place of freedom, mutual freedom. Spiritual laws supersede man-made laws. But we're only now just really beginning to see collectively how much of a buy-in there has been, how much of an agreement to follow these human laws, which support and uphold systemic discrimination and bias. God doesn't play favorites, and certainly God does not condone enslaving or mistreating anyone. That is not of spiritual quality. That is not God. So we cannot be free in our spirit nor free in our mind when we are withholding human liberty from anybody else. And the rule is this: that which we do to others, we're doing to ourselves, because there's only one of us here. That thought that we think of limitation for someone else comes right here. It comes right here. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, I'm really aware of that. And that's one of the reasons that I'm in this center and in this teaching, because I fully want to be part of an idea, of an enrichment, of an expansion, of a new emergence that honors all life, that frees all life. So that's where we really, really get to take this teaching, take it to the streets by being those people who hold the door for others, who hold the space for consciousness, who hold the knowing, the divine knowing that there is more, that we are more, that all life is more. We get to do that. And guess what? As we do that, as we practice it more and more and more, remember that race mind thing we talked about before? We get to put that into it. And now we've diluted the gunk with purity, with pure thought, with pure love, with pure passion, power. The good stuff, the juicy stuff. Our spiritual practice and our tradition here is to align with the presence of God. It's love. It's to recognize and know that God is everywhere, equally present as that love, and as wholeness expressing. When there is disharmony or incongruency in the human expression, we call that being out of alignment. The ongoing mute or tacit acceptance of that which is not in alignment with love is the passive support of injustice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., again, love is the greatest natural force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. So here is my invitation. Here's my invitation. Be a participant in the being of love. Begin to acknowledge that all people everywhere, even those ones you don't like, you don't agree with, who seem like they might be still living in another mindset, recognize that there is one power, one presence, one life, one mind, and it inhabits each of us. It inhabits each of us. And as we begin to heal our thoughts of being separate from God and from each other, we bring them into our circle of love. And it's not a go out and grab them and bring them into our circle. It's a sit down, I like to call it cheeks in the chair, and practice Practice knowing that there is one life, that you are part of it, that you are it, that you are living as the expression, and that your role is to ask, what can I do today? What is mine to do, Spirit? Or as we read in the Course of Miracles, it's one of my favorite prayers. What is mine to do today? Where am I to go? What am I to know? What am I to say and to whom? And we ask that and we listen, because through us, as Ernest Holmes told us, the action of God is taking place. Through us, God is making itself visible. Be that visibility of God. Be the transparency for God. It's okay to acknowledge someone else's struggle. That's what compassionate, humane people do. We're in confusing times, remember? Acknowledge it. Because we're in this cauldron of creativity. We're gestating. We've been gestating for months and months, almost a year. But as we are coming into emergent and birthing something new, I think we're in this birth canal. And yeah, it'll be painful. It'll be messy, because creation is, but we're bursting through paradigms of old ideas. And you, Salt Lake City, are good at this. This is one of your superpowers. So keep doing it. You know, I have this wonderful quote I found from Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher. One must have chaos within oneself in order to give birth to a dancing star. You must have chaos to give birth to a dancing star. The world, when it was formed billions and billions of years ago, came from chaos, and it gave birth to dancing stars. You and I are dancing stars. So I invite you to rise in consciousness above the confusion, above the chaos, and to know that there is a higher idea going on here. We are free. Declare, I am free. You are free. As I live from freedom, we are all free. And I do that which supports freedom. Open yourself to that wisdom. Practice this principle. You're a dancing star. And you're giving birth to dancing stars. We are bringing forth and standing forth and showing forth as the light of the world. So let's shine and dance this dance together. So let's just take all that has been shared today, all that has been discussed, and let's just take it in deeper and engage with spirit, so that we might see these principles take place and demonstrate in our lives. So I invite you to just become still, wherever you are. Close your eyes if you prefer, or have them open. Ground yourself with your feet on the ground and take a deep breath, knowing that we are breathing in a deep, deep conscious awareness of spirit. And as you release that breath, know that it is anchoring you into the present moment, this time and place. So I recognize that there is just one infinite power and presence. I call it God. I call it spirit. I call it the infinite design of this entire universe. And I know that it is that which is both source and substance. It is creator and created. And it surrounds and fills me. It surrounds and fills each and every one of us with itself. And it is that which right here and right now connects us as God, in God, and to and as each other. That one mind, that one heart, that one infinite wisdom, that love. I know that it is flowing through us now. And I speak my word and declare that we each, we individualize this power and presence in that form of wholeness. That we are indeed channels for good, channels for God. We are that place where God shows up in the world. And we are the space for freedom. We are the space for new thought, new wisdom, new compassion, new humanity. We know at the deepest level that God is infinite, therefore we are infinite, that God is all abundance, and therefore we know that we are fully immersed and saturated with that. There is enough. I am enough, I say. We are each enough. I know that we dance and that we shine as we give birth to this idea of dancing stars. For truly, truly, we are giving birth and emerging as a new, high, powerful, creative idea. Each of us unique, each of us doing God in a way that no one has done before. So I know that we give full freedom to that. We give full license. We give full support. We give our full attention to knowing who we are as God. And we celebrate that. We truly celebrate that for ourselves and for each other and for this planet. And what I also know is that as we bless this center, we bless all centers, all churches, all synagogues, all ashrams, all temples, all paths to God. For each of us is one in God, one of and one as. So I'm certain that this prayer lifts us and guides us. And as we go forth, we do good work in the world. We are that face of love. We are the face of God. I know it to be so. And I am so grateful that I know it. I know it for each of us. And with a heart absolutely full of thanksgiving, I release this word to spiritual law, knowing it is so. And I invite you to say it with me, and so it is. Have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are so very blessed. I don't know about you, but I feel really, really blessed by Reverend Sidney's talk, and I feel really reminded of the truth of who I am. So thank you, Reverend Sidney. This is our time of conscious giving, one of our spiritual practices here at the center, where we recognize that we are part of the One, and that the One sustains us, supports us financially, and that good comes through us for us to put out into the world, including to our spiritual center here at Salt Lake. We're so incredibly grateful for all of you who have supported us during this most difficult time. We appreciate your giving, and we just know for all of you that you continue to be blessed and prosperous. So if you will, I invite you to bring your gift into your mind, into your hand, into your heart, as we say together our offering blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon
I'm so pleased to have Mary Danzig do some more music for us. Mary Danzig.
Well, I think we can always use a little bit of dancing on a Sunday morning, and so this is just an Irish tune to get you tapping a little bit.
Outstanding. Just can't sit still to that.
That was some great
that's
dancing
awesome.
going on there.
That was so fun.
Backstage, too. Lots of dancing backstage.
Oh, we've come to the close of our service today. Great message, some great music. Thanks, Mary. And have a blessed week. Look forward to March. Spring's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. Count on it. We love you all. We miss you. Let's sing together our closing song. Holy, holy, holy ground.
Holy, holy, holy ground. We are standing on holy ground. Love and light and joy abound. We are standing on holy ground.